What's going on, Raiders? Duelim here, and today we're going to be talking about a new event that just started that you can get a free legendary character in, and the legendary character is also pretty awesome. So if you're ready, let's get into it. But first, make sure you're clicking that download link or scanning the QR code to get Karato Fox Hunter. The second you start the game, an amazing legendary nuker. At level 10, you're going to be getting Tagore, an amazing epic support character. At level 20, you're going to be getting Fane, who's got some incredible turn meter steal, as well as some pretty crazy damage. And then at level 30, you're going to be getting Vergus, who's a defense-based champion, to help keep your other characters alive. And then, this is super important, day number 1 within the first 24 hours of making your Raid Shadow Legends account. Type in promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, one of the best free legendaries they have ever given. And if you're on iOS, make sure you're clicking a different link in the description to type in any promo codes. All right, let's get right into it. So if we go over here on the right-hand side, we have the event tabs and we have Path of the Lost. So this is a path, a hero's path event, which I actually like these. I like being able to have the agency to choose where you want to go. And as I was looking at this, I always kind of look at this and go, okay, cool. There's some pretty decent stuff here. You know, a legendary skill tome here, cool. And then I was looking and I didn't read anything about this. And I was like, oh, look, you know, we get the perfect soul, a 5 perfect soul for Balar of the Lost. That's pretty cool. And then I looked here and I was like, oh, this is an avatar. And I was like, why is this here? And then I saw that they're giving you a chance to essentially get the character just outright, just completely 100% get them. And I thought this was really, really interesting. So immediately I went over, I was like, cool, he's a Sylvan Watcher. Let's go to the Sylvan Watchers and let's look at this guy's kit. So Balar of the Lost, first of all, looks awesome. Got a flaming sword. You love to see that. That looks really, really cool. Maybe it's not flame. Maybe it's like the power of autumn compels you. I'm not sure. All right. The A1, Malignant Thorns, attacks one enemy before attacking, places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is proportional to the hero's attack. Has a 50% chance of placing a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Very good. Damage based on attack. The A2, Twister of Life, attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Instantly activates all poison debuffs on all enemies. That's really, really nice. Damage based on attack. The A3, Monstrous Growth, attacks one enemy before attacking, places a 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased resistance buff on all enemies for 2 turns. So not only are you getting increased accuracy, you're also decreasing their resistance, which is nuts. Then also places 3 poison debuffs on the initial target for 2 turns. If this attack is critical, places 3 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns on all enemies instead. Absolutely nuts. Very, very good. The passive, Lost to Chaos, increases the champion's ignored defense effect by 1% for each poison debuff instantly activated by this champion. And that goes up to 20%. So on fights that last longer, obviously here, if you're putting on three poisons, if you're putting on 3 poisons for 2 turns, you're going to be detonating them with the A2, and you're going to be detonating 6 of them per person, right? So if for whatever reason you're in something like Spider and it gets the poison on everybody and then you end up instantly activating them, you're pretty much getting that passive maxed out at the beginning of the fight. Then fills this champion's turn meter by 5% whenever a poison debuff is placed on an enemy. I am just looking at this and going, oh my, in Spider, this guy is disgusting because he's putting so many poison debuffs out there on all the little spiderlings, and he's going to be getting so much turn meter because there's 20 enemies on the board. He gets full turn meter, and in Spider, that's not unheard of. So that's pretty awesome. Really, really good. And then the aura is increased ally accuracy in all battles by 60%. So how likely is it that you can actually get this, right? And the inputs are going to be pretty interesting. So it's get artifacts and accessories, which very difficult. You get decent amount of points, honestly. This is kind of similar to the Dungeon Divers event, right? Which is fine. But this one is really energy heavy, especially if you're someone like me who is earlier in the game and definitely cannot farm like hard stage 10 on all the dungeons or anything like that. Like my best is like hard stage 6 on Dragon, and I can't even auto it. I have to play it. But yeah, this part is very difficult. Now, you like shards? Yeah, so you can definitely use shards now, can't you? So the inputs here are going to be 3 for mystery shards, which is nothing essentially. 300 per ancient shard, 750 per void, 1800 per primal, and 4500 per sacred. Now, I do like that this is per shard and not depending on what you pull from the shard, because then you're relying more on RNG. So I ended up doing the math, and you do have to go down one of the side paths here to get one of the keys, and then you got to go down the middle path here, unlock the key, get the legendary skill tome, and then unlock the character. So if you're going down the side path to get the key, you need 20,250, and then you need an additional 72,000 to get all the way and unlock Balar of the Lost. So that's a total of 92,250. So for example, if you're just doing the shard section, right? If you've just got, 300 ancient shards laying around, you could do it. It's only 307 and a half ancient shards. It's 123 void shards, 51 and a quarter primal shards, and 20 sacred shards. Now, one thing I will say, I think the best bang for your buck would probably be the primal shards, but there's a caveat to that. Opening up primal shards when you don't have 2x on a mythical, like 2x drop rate on a mythical, is probably not a great idea. That's the only time you really want to open primals, right? But I think primal shards go for like $3 to $4 if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's kind of your best bang for the buck, in my opinion. But again, then you're lowering your chance of getting a mythical character, and that's kind of sucky, right? And who has 20 sacred shards just laying around? I know I don't. So make sure you plan accordingly. See if this champion is going to fit your roster. And the extra rewards that you're getting with it. We get a free gear removal for an hour, which doesn't matter. We get one of those every single day. We get some okay stuff. We get a rank 5 chicken here. We also do get a legendary skill tome on the way down to Balar, which is pretty nice. And then if you do have an extra 20,000, you can end up getting a mythical skill tome if you'd like. Now, to go down on this side, either you go left or you go right. For the key, make sure you're going right, because left is going to be 7,500 more expensive here. So make sure you're going down the right path, which I actually think is better because you're going to get the the XP barrel. I always call it a mega brew. I don't know why. The XP barrel, and this is going to be just better in general. I like XP barrels. They're great. They're fun. I like using them. So make sure you're going down the right path to get to the key, literally the right path and the right path. So make sure you're getting that key from there. And then if you are going for it, you can get to Balar of the Lost here. So not too bad. Now, if you want to get the split soul, that's going to be quite pricey. So it's going to be another 60,000 on top of the 92,250 that I said, plus what it's going to cost to get down here, which I think is another roughly 30,000. So that's going to be pretty pricey. That's going to be like 180,000. But if you do have a lot of shards for whatever reason, maybe you skipped Titus Blackplume, maybe you've been holding for a long time, it might not be a terrible idea to get yourself a guaranteed, very good legendary. We also do have progressive chance going on. We've got some pretty good characters here. We do have Tholen as one of your choices here. You could absolutely get Tholen. We have Thor as well. Thor's a very, very good character. I don't even know who this is. Colite, the Ash Arrow. I don't know. The Ash Arrow. The Ash Arrow, don't know him. Cheshire Cat's very, very good. We also have some fusions for this is a is it Frygun is Belly a fusion for Mikage, or am I wrong on that? Yeah, she is. Look at that. I remembered. she is a fusion for Mikage. So a potential epic fusion for Mikage there as well. Nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool. So some really good chances here in Ancient Shards. But again, it's that progressive chance. Now, for the Voids, we do have Gorgid the Breaker, and he's kind of nuts. I've gone against him a couple times, and he's really, really interesting. And then we also have Valkanen, who's pretty good, and I've never heard of Onryo Ieyasu or anything like that. I haven't seen either. Oh, Akemptum is also very, very good. I've seen Akemptum a good amount, and then I have never seen this guy before. So the Voids, kind of meh. The Ancient Shards are pretty good, though. And then Primal, exact same thing as the Ancients. And then Sacreds are probably going to be the same thing as well, yeah. So if you did end up skipping out on the Tholen Foulbeard fusion, maybe you could use the progressive chance to pull him and get lucky, right? There is a possibility. There's a very tiny chance. But remember, 15 times a very, very small number is still a very, very small number. So don't ever forget that. Make sure you are smart with your pulls. But again, you could get a very good character if you do have enough and you do want to push this hero's path for the Path of the Lost event. So I would honestly recommend doing it, especially if you have a good poison team already. Getting poison sensitivity from this guy would absolutely help your roster out. And he's very good. Also a poison detonator as well. So you don't have to worry about putting too many debuffs and then they're blocked because there's a maximum of 10. So you can get that poison detonation kind of like Eleanoril has to be able to avoid that issue. But yeah, make your decision. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section down below. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, Raiders.